Bore da. Bore da a croeso.
Croeso.
Croeso I Cymru.
Welcome to Wales.
Diolch.
Thank you.
So these are the lessons I want you to learn, and I want you to remember these at the end. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you very much.
Me. Diolch yn fawr. Good.
Thank you very much.
So this is our Welsh lessons to you to kick you off, and this evening you may need to know Iechyd da. So Iechyd da. Cheers.
Cheers.
So repeat after me. I'm going to hand this to John.
Llanfaid Pwll Gwyngyll, gael gerech chwyn drogwyl Llantysilio, go, go, goch.
So you might think this is made up, but this is actually a train station in North Wales. The actual name. So although Welsh is useful, sometimes it can be contested whether it's useful. In fact, one poor customer tried to get a delivery, and this was apparently fake news. The delivery company didn't believe that the place existed. We also want to talk about
Dŵr.
Thro, which is water. You will have seen a lot of water around, as you hear. And glaw.
Glaw.
So this is one of the many Welsh words for rain. Now you may have noticed outside it's rained. This is the first time it's rained in 4 months. Right, so John is our only Welsh language speaker, and so going to help me to translate. So I'd like to say diolch yn fawr.
Thank you very much.
To the EPSRC and the British chapter of the ISMRM. EPSRC funded the National Microstructural Imaging Facility. On behalf of the National Microstructural Imaging Facility and the British chapter, I'd like to welcome you all here. I have to say, looking out at all your smiley faces, I think most of you are smiling, yeah. I just feel spoiled. This is an incredibly special moment for me. I'm incredibly grateful to the speakers that have come here. I feel like a kid in a sweet shop. Actually, that's not quite right. I don't want to eat any of you. But I would like to savour your presentations, perhaps. And so this is a fantastic opportunity. And thank you to the people who have come.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
So this is an extra special thank you to Siemens Healthcare. So Siemens are the main sponsor of the event, and Siemens are a close partner of Cardiff University and of Kubrick, and of course are responsible for the main piece of kit in the National Microstructural Imaging Facility. They're an incredibly supportive partner to us, and we just wanted to publicly acknowledge that, and you'll be hearing more about the microstructural facility tomorrow. We also want to tell you about the origins of this meeting. Starting with the Welsh, John.
Okay. Tight for time.
Yeah, we are tight for time. The origins of this meeting started with an initiative from Magnetic Resonance in Medicine, the Highlights magazine. So for those of you who went to Singapore, you would have seen this glossy brochure that was produced. And these are 2 slides that are sent from the Highlights team, which has this goal to educate the readers of MRM, the MR community and beyond. And as you know, they do interviews with authors of MRM. But a special one-off was to interview Erwin Hahn for the brochure that was produced in Singapore. And this year I've been asked to interview our first speaker today, John Tanner. So you'll be seeing the interview of that available in the 2017 version. I've been assured it's going to be packed with even more diffusion imaging. So the Highlights team is a team of mostly junior contributors, but I would like to particularly highlight Matt Bernstein as the MRM editor-in-chief, Nicholas Dickoff as the editor for scientific outreach, and Erica Raven as the Highlights editor. These guys, as I say, they have a love of science and writing, and that's what they try to portray through their interview. So you may get interviewed by them. I've actually seen some of you in the audience have been interviewed by that team. And so we're really grateful to the Highlights team. Because what they've done, sorry, not the Highlights team, the Highlights team contributed to Dr. Tanner's visit here. The British chapter provided 20 student stipends. Apologies, I don't have everybody's photograph here. If you did send it to me, it may have got lost in the email. So if Tom's here, give us a wave. There's Tom, so now we know what you look like. But these guys received, they competed for one of 20 stipends to allow them to come here. So if you get a chance to see these guys, say hello, congratulate them on getting this accolade. So I should say, croeso I Cymru, croeso I Cardiff, croeso I Kubrick, croeso I National Microstructural Imaging Facility, and croeso I Spin-Through Diffusion MR History.
Croeso I Gymru, croeso I Gaerdydd, croeso I Kubrick, croeso i'r ganolfan genedlaethol delweddu'r fan strwythur, a croeso I droed drwy hanes delweddu trylediad magnetic.
I think it deserves a round of applause there. So, thank you very much, John.
Diolch yn fawr, John.
Okay.
Iawn.
No, so thank you.
Na, mae yna ddigon.
No, please, could you, I think we're finished.
A ti fynd i'r sy'n lawr? Gweld i'n dda?
Yeah, you can go.
Alla I fynd?
Yeah, off you go. Okay.
Oh, right, sorry.
Okay. So for many of you, it's the first time you've come to Wales. Wales, you may think of the mythical beast that we have here. These are the mythical beasts that are actually here. They're very common. If you don't know where you are, people don't know where Cardiff is. It's just here on the bottom. And you may see this red line. If you don't know what this red line is, this is a moment in history. This is King Offa's Dyke. It was a barrier used to separate one country from another, which seems to be an idea that's rather popular of late. So this is the English and the Welsh. This was to keep the Welsh out of England. And this is those guys marauding. And you can see that despite the vast amount of money left spent on it, it turned out to be rather ineffective in the end. So we'll just leave that there. Moving on, I just want to show you some highlights of the area. This is just down the road from us, Rosili Bay. It's an area of outstanding natural beauty, rated in one of the top 10 beaches in the world. I find that hard to believe, but there we go. Cardiff Bay, some of you hopefully get a chance to go down there. It's a regenerated area with lots of bars and restaurants, the Doctor Who Museum, and you can just walk across the barrage, etc. You've got the Senate building, fantastic architecture there where the Welsh Government meets, the Wales Millennium Centre. And then the other thing that we like to do in Wales is spend a lot of time with an ellipsoid. That's an ellipsoid that looks like this, and if you still don't recognise it, it looks something like this. So this is something that's very proud of in Wales, and it's hosted in the Millennium Stadium that I think many of you will have seen. And of course, this evening, the lucky golden ticket winners will be coming to the Cardiff Castle. I'm sorry that this wasn't able to accommodate everybody, but we didn't anticipate at short notice so many people would want to come. So we will hold a meeting every year for the next 5 years, and you'll be welcome back. At this point, it's also appropriate for me to say to everybody here and people not here that it wasn't, of course, possible to include every speaker that's contributed to the history of diffusion MR. What we've tried to do is select a representative sample that really documents things from the beginning right through to the end. That's reflected in the design of this brochure. If you look at the top left-hand corner, you can see the spin, and hopefully if you go all the way down, you can see down to the bottom some of the very latest developments. That's reflected on the inside front cover with a paper from 1965. And if you go to the back cover, you see a paper from our very last speaker reflecting the true evolution. And I would like to thank Irini Mesrataki, Chantal Tax, Greg Parker, Stan Vandenberg, Mark Drakesmith for making some of these little icons that appear in the brochure. So just briefly, a spin through Kubrick's history. In 2006, we were opened by Sir Peter Mansfield. And then on the 7th of July, we had another important visitor. That's him on the left, the Vice-Chancellor. And you can see him here getting a chance to meet various people. And then the Queen was asked to unveil something else in Kubrick. Was this a statue of John Tanner? Well, you'll be able to find out when you go to Kubrick. It doesn't look like John very much last time I saw him. So we're talking about a spin through diffusion history. Started off, of course, in 1950 with this observation that you can look at the effects on relaxation measurements of the self-diffusion of liquid molecules from Hahn. And then, of course, things have come along since then substantially. Just want to mention the trumps. It would be inappropriate if we don't mention the trumps. Perhaps not the trumps you're thinking of. I want to talk about the top trumps, my top trumps. And I could go on, but here we have the originator, seminal paper in 1965, gradient strength 150, Le Grand Père, the Catman, ellipsoid lover, and so on and so forth. These are going to be your tour guides through a spin through the history of restricted diffusion MR. And this is just a dream team. So again, diolch yn fawr iawn to all the speakers for coming today. I'm absolutely thrilled that so many people came at short notice. And so, yeah, I just want to say diolch yn fawr. And if you want to tweet, please tweet Spin Through History. Thank you all for coming. I hope you have an enjoyable 2 days. And I look forward to speaking to every one of you. So thanks very much for coming.